YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here on Total War Rome 2, and I'm going to be showing you a best of 3 series, and it won't all be in one video. You have to just watch the next few videos. I'll put a battle in each video, and then we'll talk about it. So you can see the armies here. My opponent's got an Egyptian scare army. Makes me wonder if he's watched my video or if he just came up with it on its own. It's not all that hard to derive in reality. It just brings a lot of scare units. He can scare my horses with the camels, and the cultist will also scare my horses. He's got archers for flaming shot. He's got a couple of Galatian Royal Guard for punishing charges, and the rest are thorax swords. Actually very similar in some ways to the Egyptian scare army that I used. I wouldn't have brought 2 Sobeks though, just because you really only need 1. But maybe he just wants to make sure the scare effect is evenly spread. Let me cover my army real quick. So I have 3 legionary cohorts and 3 Evocati cohort. Heir, you're always ripping on Evocati. Why are you using them? I just want to see what they're like. I never use them. I play against them a lot. I want to use them in some battles and just see what I get a feel for, because a lot of you think I'm wrong in my opinions of them, so just gonna mess around with them. We'll see what happens. But yeah, my whole army, 6 infantry. I've got 4 standard Equite units here. All of them have Draco, which is a reason why I kind of like Equites. They're a little bit weak, but provide a nice punch, and then I'm supporting with 2 Praetorian Cav and 2 Gladiator Spearmen. And then I've got 2 Syrian archers. My opponent's got 3 Egyptian archers, and then like I said, he's got 4 thorax swords, Galatian legionnaires, a couple of Sobeks. He's got a Elephant General, 2 Camel Spearmen, and 3 Citizen Cav. So, yep, whenever I joined the match, this was actually a battle list match, and my opponent wanted to play a best of 3, which I thought would be fun. So he wanted me to stick around for 3 matches. That was one of the rules. The other rules were only 1 elephant or chariot, and then no artillery, which is pretty standard rules on Rome 2. Anyway, I've got a skirmishing fight going on, and the Blood and Gore DLC isn't turned on. When I reverted back to the patch 13, for some reason it acts like it can't install the Blood and Gore thing, so no Blood and Gore this time. We're going to keep it G-rated, except for the arrows stuck in people's face. They're just no blood. And when it is blood, folks, don't worry. In the world of Rome 2, people don't bleed. It's just like strawberry jam. So, yeah, don't get upset or worry about it. So, I want to watch what happens here. I'm going to go into slow-mo for this charge. I used a group attack with my men, and you can actually see that my guys missed a charge on this thorax swordsman, which means it's going to go clean around my flank. Yeah. So, let's see how my men connect. I had a charge order against this thorax sword with this Evocati, which is not good. You want to make sure your charge orders are clean. This Evocati got a clean charge into the thorax sword. And then over here, look, they go around my flank. And then let's watch what happens in real time. So see, my morale's already wavering. And my opponent gets around my flank here and goes for my Praetorian Cav. And I was trying to micro out here into his elephants, so he is going to get into my Praetorian Cav. But I pin his elephants down and use Draco. And Draco does take away the elephant's bonus versus large. And so the Praetorian Cav will kind of bog him down for a while. Plus the elephants didn't really get a charge. But my opponent is beating me in most sectors of the battlefield right now. So what he needs to do at this point is go on mop-up patrol. But his problem is his Cav is tied up way out on his flanks. He should have kept 1 Cav unit right here in the center. And let me show you what's happening. You can see that he's basically busted me right across the front because of this outflanking maneuver up here. It just sent a chain route right up this whole flank. So his initial maneuvers here are really good, and my micromanagement so far has been really bad. Just some of my decisions were bad, getting my Cav and everything. I do have his elephants pinned down, which is good. And my 3 Evocati cohort are still alive, which is also good. Or I say that. Nope, one of them's actually routed. So 2 of my Evocatis are alive. And I still have a bunch of Equite Cav, and my archers are still alive. But my opponent's getting caught up here with his cavalry, so his men aren't here to capitalize on this. So I have a whole bunch of Romans routing, like this legionary cohort right here, routing with only 15 men lost. Evocati with 94 men left. If he could chase these down with a Camel Spearman or a Citizen Cav, the battle would be his at this point, because I probably wouldn't have enough men to pull off the victory. But if I can just keep backing up and wait for my men to regroup, we'll be in good shape. But this legionary cohort here is completely shattered, so lost a legionary cohort. I see a Sobek cultist here, unprotected, so I'm going to go ahead and charge them down, destroy them. Probably should have gone for his archers and mopped them up, because the flaming arrows are having an effect on my morale all over the battlefield. So yeah, my opponent again did very well initially, and I'm doing very poorly initially, but I do start to pull my men away, so you can see I'm going to pull back around here, keep my general out, keep my archers out of the fray. I did lose these. Look at that, shattered. Again, 113 men left. So if you follow up this type of attack, it's absolutely deadly. You've seen me use it, and it works very well. My opponent's doing something very similar, and you can see how well it worked. Just shattered right through my Roman line. Because remember, I used it on Praetorian Guard and stuff, and it shattered them, so of course it'll shatter these lesser units. Yeah, I leave my Praetorian cav in here. They're tanking it out fairly well for now. They're going to die, but at least it keeps his units pinned up, and then I'm going to reinforce these Gladiator Spearmen and take my Equites out here around back. Take my general into his... Well, I was going to go into his archers. Apparently I did not. Oh, yeah, I do go on for his archers, and then I'm keeping his elephants busy with my Praetorian cav. So my Praetorian cav unit has actually just stayed with these elephants the whole time. Not the most effective way of killing them, but it has worked. That Draco ability really does help versus elephants. And then when his elephants get bogged down, my Evocati cohort are able to get a few kills. But not a whole lot, really. But it's enough to at least keep the elephants bogged down and busy. And they're going to rout. Yeah, you can see over here, again, my Praetorian cav did alright, got 100 and some odd kills before they routed there. As against Thorax Swords and Galatian Royal Guard and Sobek Cultists, so not too bad. My Gladiator Spearmen, here to assist. There's a lot of heavy infantry around. They'll do fine, though, versus this Citizen cav. I just put them into killing spree, actually. Let's watch and see what kind of effect it has. Yeah, they really start ripping down the Citizen cav.
Understood.
So yeah, now a lot of my units are coming back into the fight, so I'm going to go recommit to these different areas of the fight. You can see here this Evocati cohort tanking it out versus Thorax Swords. These guys have 227 kills, and I'm going to support them with the Praetorian cav. And then over here, some of my cavalry regrouped, and I'm destroying a Citizen cav with Equites. Equites are pretty capable units, especially when you engage the Draco ability. And then let's watch over here. Yeah, I've engaged these Thorax Swords with this Legionary cohort that regrouped. It'll do just fine there. And then I've got his Galatian Royal Guard surrounded now. I've got an Evocati cohort in the front and Gladiator Spearmen from behind. So let you watch some of this action. The Galatian Royal Guard definitely capable of defending itself from a unit like Gladiator Spearmen, but with an Evocati cohort on the other side, it's going to be a pretty tough position for it. But he does have more men, and he's killing a lot of these Gladiator Spearmen. His guys are doing excellent. Look at the kills on those Galatian Royal Guard. But now it's just a matter of being outnumbered. So here comes the Praetorian cav guard charge from a flank as well. So yeah, that's going to hurt bad. And then I've got more Evocati cohort coming in to support. And then I've got Equites coming from behind as well. And that's pretty much his last units. He's got a Camel Spearman out here that's still running away from my Gladiator Spearman. And he's got a Thorax Sword that's still holding on here. Thorax Swords are pretty sturdy units. They won't win against Roman infantry, but they hold out a surprisingly long time. And you can see he's using his Camel Spearmen to try and get to my general, maybe cause a morale blow. Not a bad plan, but I'm going to use my Gladiator Spearmen to just keep holding up his camels. Look at that, his camels were running over my spearmen who weren't braced. That's pretty funny. And then I'll bring my general in to support. Gladiator Spearmen don't have much stopping power, but they're good at assisting in a cav fight. So anyway, great game to my opponent. Good use of scare tactics, and his biggest problem there was that he just didn't follow up on it. Yeah, I keep getting this stupid message to you, so sorry, it's right in the middle of the screen. I can't get rid of it until I hit continue. It'll fix it whenever I go back into the patch 14 beta. It's just one of those weird things that happens when you switch back and forth like I have. So yeah, if we look at his army, his archers serve their purpose. Flaming arrows help to rout a lot of my men, so definitely a worthwhile unit. One of his Galatian Royal Guard picking up 301 kills. That's spectacular. Fantastic job there. The only other infantry he had that did fairly well was this Thorax Swordsman, and it makes me wonder if that's maybe the one that got around my flank, or if it just got in a good position. Camel Spearman here, 190 kills, also a great use of it, but the rest of his cav not doing so hot. Elephants did get 103 kills. I'm surprised they got that many, but it was when he got into the back of my infantry there just briefly before my Praetorian cav killed him. I really should have done a better job of trying to focus my archers on his elephants, and I was actually really lucky that I had a heavy cav unit with Draco. Otherwise, that would have been bad. If we look at my units, both my Gladiator Spearmen did pretty well. This is a 400 talent unit, and to get this many kills with them is great. Two of my Evocati cohort tanking it out, so just like I expected, these guys are brutes, and they do their job well. And my opponent here, with the type of army he brought, this is the best way to get rid of Roman units like Evocati, elephants, flaming arrows, scare tactics. That's the best way to get rid of Roman infantry. My Equites up here, two of them doing really well. Praetorian Cav, nothing spectacular for a unit that expensive, but considering one of them held up an elephant unit, it wasn't bad. But anyway, good game to my opponent. Hope you all enjoyed this first one. Let me go over some of the mistakes I made here. So number one, I saw that my opponent had a scare army, and I went ahead and let him charge me. I probably should have considered the way that I wanted this to happen. I had a considerable amount more cavalry than he did, and I waited a long time to engage some of my Equites. So, to be honest, I could have intercepted his charge with some of my Equites that were behind my line and used my Praetorians to fend off on the flank, and they would have done better versus the Camel Spearmen and the Citizen Cav. I reacted too slow with them, so I think maybe right here a good thing to do would have been to just take my Equites straight up the center, take one of them around the enemy infantry and try and get to his skirmishers. Take the others, just take them straight into his infantry to hold up his charge. Use my archers to start killing his elephants immediately. And then I would want to charge my infantry against his while they're pinned up with all my Equites being sacrificial. And then I could just keep Gladiator Spearmen to guard my flanks. That may have worked better, I don't know. I mean, scare tactics are good, they work well, but the way I reacted here was wrong. I was just lucky that my somewhat robust Roman units here decided to come back from routing and help me finish the fight. So that's kind of what happened here. Hope you all enjoyed it. Heir of Carthage, signing off for now.